We're at one of my favorite national monuments. This is WUPATKIll National Monument, and this is another installment from utahtrekker at blogspot.com. Remember, that's trekker with 2 Ks. Now, WUPATKIll is about 15, the entrance to it is about 15 miles north of Flagstaff, Arizona. You'll go in where Sunset Crater, it's kind of a combination of Sunset Crater and WUPATKIll. WUPATKIll is a distance away, it's out in the flats, you can go through the lava flows. But WUPATKIll is awesome. I mean, the footage you're going to see today is absolutely some of the best primitive Indian ruins that there are. There's even a place where they have a ball court like the Anasazi, but right in the middle of the ball court there's actually a blowhole. And in that blowhole during the day it sucks hot air down in it because there's a fissure in the earth. Or at night, I'm sorry, it sucks the air in, and then during the day it blows out about 60-degree cold air. It's just a blast. And like I said, WUPATKIll's probably in my top 10. This is a place that I really enjoy. And we were staying in Sedona. We've taken a drive about 35 miles north to Flagstaff. Then we've come out a little bit further. We're taking the loop, the Sunset Crater loop that also encompasses WUPATKIll. So definitely, if you are in northern Arizona, you need to come to WUPATKIll. Buy the annual pass. It costs you $80, and you can go, it's good for a year. You can go to every national park, national monument. It also works as a Red Rock pass if you're in Sedona, in the Red Rock area. So really, this is a great place. So we'll video some more of the ruins, and you'll absolutely...
Hi, we've now stopped at the WUPATKIll ruins. That's WUPATKIll, I guess I should pronounce that correctly. This is the first stop as you come north. It's right before the WUPATKIll Visitor Center. And as you can tell, these are spectacular. I mean, they're built right on a rock formation, and they overlook the entire valley. And we'll get some close-ups when we hike down there. And just a beautiful day today. And like I said, this is one of my favorite ruins to go to. Please don't forget to visit the blog spot. If you got any questions or requests or anything like that, please make comments or email me, because I'd really like. Up above they would have another layer, a roof, and on top they were really efficient. They would do their corn grinding, they would store their corn, let it dry up there, and then bring it down below in these lower areas. And like I said, if you can imagine that there's timbers coming across, you'll see this in a lot of the upcoming ruins. And whenever you see that, you'll know that a timber was going across. They put mud across it, and then it would define the room. Now, one thing you have to remember of how arid this land is, and all this mortar that they used was just mud from the riverbed, or from the creek bed. And so the only time they could actually build is during the wet season, because everything around here is so dry and arid. You can just imagine the monumental Okay, now we're at the main ruin. This is what the National Monument gets its name from. So this is the main ruin. This is the largest ruin. You see the round figure of the frame is actually a kiva, where they do ceremonial, religious ceremonies, sorry. And then also, as with the Aztecs, they actually had a ball court. And you've heard me talk about the blowhole. When we get closer to the ball court, we'll show you the blowhole. Don't mean to go back to the same thing, but it is quite unique. I mean, you're up here, you're hot, it's super dry, and it's just a fun thing. Now, do remember that unless I indicate, all the paths are fairly easy and accessible. If it becomes strenuous, I will let you know. Most of these are wheeled accessible, but most of them are pretty easy hikes. You might have a little elevation and a few stairs, but not a whole bunch. Always remember that if you're coming out here and you're in the hot months of the year, if you got a headache, if you're dizzy, if you're irritable, you're probably dehydrated. So make sure that you hydrate and drink plenty of fluids. Now, fluids or waters and juices, soda pops kind of dehydrate you, so stay with the thing. Do some shoring up. There's a steel bar there and there's a couple of plates, but it's just to maintain the integrity of the of the ruin. We don't want to lose any more than we've already lost to looters and people that have destroyed it early on. Here's a closer view of their grinding stones. Now, they don't have any of the pummel stones out, the ones that they used to actually grind it. But as you can tell, you know, at some point that rock was round, and they've actually worn it down to grind their food. As you can tell, we're at the blowhole. The one nice thing that they will do is they do give you a trail guide, and everything's numbered. As you can see, this is blowing quite cool, and it's blowing my wife's hair quite well, and it will do that all day, and nature's air conditioning. There's a giant fisher underground, and it collects the warm air at night and blows it out cool during the day. So I appreciate her doing the demonstration.
Okay, we're now in the ball court, and as you can tell, it actually echoes in here. If you get into the center of this, where they used to play, it will echo and reverberate back. Like I said, they do give you a trail guide here, and it has a handy map on the back that will cover everything. Everything is listed by number. It will cover it as you walk along. Now, like I told you, I will tell you when it's a little bit uneven, and this is a little bit strenuous. You're going to have to go down some stairs. It's wheeled accessible to the top, but that's about it. So, like I said, get a trail guide. You can turn it back in, so unless you want to take it, you can turn it in after you go through the whole monument, or the whole WUPATKIll area right here, this main site, and then you can give it back to them.
What I'm videoing now is actually a grave. They buried some of their people inside the rooms. This is just to give you a view of what the wheelchair accessible point would be. This is as far down as you could possibly go. There's just too many stairs, and it's too steep to go any further, but you can at least go down to the upper monument. Even in that room right there, as you go around, it still has a timber in it.
This is the WUPATKIll ruin, and as you can tell, the wind is really blowing. You know, luckily my wife was able to show you the blowhole, because as you can see, I have no hair. Now, almost all of their dwellings are perched on top of outcroppings to where out of the runoff, they're out of the flood zone, and they can actually see where their enemies are coming from. They did raid each other, they preyed on each other, so a kinder, friendlier, fuzzier environment. This complex, where there's actually 3 ruins right together. There's a Box Canyon ruin, and then the WUPATKIll ruin. As she showed you, this is right above a wash. You know, they did in the lower washes, they did farm, they raised corn, so it was vital that they stay safe, but yet close enough to their crops or where they could retrieve their crops. So that's why, if you're wondering why they're perched. And just as a side note, my wife's made me aware of this. I should inform you that there are pit toilets on a regular basis throughout the National Monument. Every stop you stop at, there is a restroom and there is a facility. Now, it is a pit toilet. If you're not familiar with pit toilets, they're pretty primitive. So be adventurous.
Okay, these are the Box Canyon ruins. And not to be patronizing, but there are going to be some people out there that don't know what a box canyon is. A box canyon is a canyon with no exit. It goes up and usually stops at a rock face to where there's just no way out. And so there's 2 ruins right here. This is the Box Canyon ruin, and this is the actual Box Canyon, which goes up and has no exit. But most of the surrounding area will drain into this, and so their agricultural area will be down.
Okay, this is the sign-off for our trip to WUPATKIll. Remember, visit my blog spot at utahtrekker, that's trekker with 2 Ks, at blogspot.com. Now, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to ask me or jot them down, and I'll try and respond to them. But this is a great national monument, and I really think that you should see it. And look for other videos, and let me know how we're doing. Sorry for the wind today, but it's Mother Nature, and you know what they say.